guess we'll start off with this. Could you tell us who you are? Oh, my bad. All right, let's start with this. Could you tell us who you are?
Yeah, my name is Andy Berrios. I am a graduate student here at UHD. I got my bachelor's in computer science with a minor in data science, and I'm currently going for my degree in data analytics.
You want to answer? How was your day?
My day was good, man. Worked out early in the morning, then I picked up some tacos on the way home. Now I'm here.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to stay in a comfortable position in FAANG?
In a comfortable position in FAANG? I guess, what do you mean by comfortable? Like you're already in a position within that company or organization, and you don't want to move up, you don't want to move down?
That's all the information.
Oh, man. I mean, if you're comfortable where you're at, I would just say do the best you're doing, and if opportunities come for you to arise, just turn them down. I guess that's kind of contrary to what you want to do in life, but if you're happy with where you are.
What were some challenges you faced when you were getting into the industry?
Ooh, some of the biggest challenges I faced was just not having the right type of material, I guess, on my resume. Man, I struggled with getting internships. I struggled with having relevant projects on my resume, but I finally realized that you need to put what you're working on right now in class on your resume. I like to say that my data science 2401 project is what got me my internship with Kellogg's, and it's a simple little project, but knowing it well and then knowing it back and forth really granted the ability to share that with the interviewer.
How do you decide which technologies to specialize in?
You really gotta check out what's really trending in the industry. For myself, it's gonna be a lot of generative AI. And so with that comes the idea of large language models. And with that stems, or is stemming from NLP, which is natural language processing. So focusing on the basics first before moving on is what you want to be. And you can keep up with the industry on LinkedIn. You can also keep up with job postings. People or companies are going to be hiring for what they're missing. A lot of times they're not missing a computer scientist, they're not missing a software engineer, they're missing a machine learning engineer, they're missing an AI engineer of sorts.
How do you stay updated with the latest industry trends and technology?
LinkedIn, mostly. I follow a couple of software engineers from Posit, which is now R, as well as Python, and they always are announcing any new developments that are accruing in that industry or in their specific field, or any opportunities. Like I follow this one person on LinkedIn called Julia CLG, and she's out here promoting brand new libraries in R that are all generative AI that can help you code while still in R, as well as new conferences that you can be attending for free. So LinkedIn is probably the number one for me.
What codes are getting popular, and what is the best way to get internships with little to no experience?
Well, the big one is always going to be Python. I think followed by that is Java, C++. That's not always being asked, but if you do know C++ and you know it well, you're going to really differentiate yourself from the rest of the field that are applying. And even though you don't have any experience or internships, when you're applying, just put your school projects on your resume. And in order to do that, you're going to want to put those projects on your GitHub. So you got to learn GitHub, put your projects on GitHub, put your projects then on your resume. And then from there, you can go ahead and start applying, because you don't need some big internship experience to get your first internship. You got to put your projects, show what you can do, show what you're possible, or show what you're capable of doing. And from there, hopefully get that job. Name is LeBron James. Seen those memes on Instagram?
No, I don't.
Damn. Hello. 1 2 1 2.
What does your typical day look like?
Well, currently I am a full-time graduate student, and I'm also working for the dean's office. I work as a graduate assistantship. Mainly I do dashboard building for Dr. De La Vigna. as well as anything that can help out Ms. Taylor Smith, which is the graduate advisor. Those are all are from work from home, 20 hours a week. And then I also have those 3 other courses that I'm working on, one of them being a capstone project. So most of my day is just, working a little bit here and there. I don't really dive a lot into my job or into my schoolwork. I do bits and pieces of each one throughout each day to keep moving progressively in each.
How you feel you doing so far?
Ooh, I don't know, man. You tell me if they're good or not. You know what I'm saying? You tell me if they're...
How do you deal with and conquer imposter syndrome?
I think imposter syndrome is something that affects every single person, and it becomes really prominent when you attend things or do things that you're not really doing on a daily basis or on a regular basis. For me, it was when I attended conferences. When I attended my first conference in 2022, fall 2022, I really felt like everyone else belonged there except me. I felt like my resume wasn't good enough, my skills weren't good enough as a computer scientist. But I really learned that it's all about putting yourselves in that situation over and over again to really feel comfortable in it. Even when I talk to students now that are nervous that attend these conferences like GMIS, I tell them like, hey, everyone here is doing the exact same thing that you're doing. Don't feel weird. Don't feel like, you're isolated. You have your students here, you have your friends here with you. And when it comes to those skills that you want to display, just practicing, if you want to be a software engineer, you have to know those skills that it take to be a good software engineer, even if you're just going to be an intern, as well as a data scientist, a machine learning engineer. You got to practice those skills to build that confidence to share out.
What advice would you give to your freshman self?
My freshman self, man, just don't waste time on things you don't really need, and make time for things that'll grow you in your specific major or in your specific field, like joining clubs like CASI, ACA, not to be a plug, but and making friends in those clubs that you can learn from. Maybe it's like a mentor, or a senior or junior that you can learn from, and just putting yourself in those environments that you're not the smartest person or the most experienced person, and you're not isolating yourself back at home. This is a commuter school. You want to just go home after class, but stay a little while, talk to those around you, learn from those around you. And beyond that as well, if you can take classes at a community college, do that, because you can really go and learn so much faster and so much cheaper at a Lone Star or at a HCC, and then transfer those credits in. You can save a lot of money and save yourself a lot of time and heartache too.
Favorite AI tool?
Chat.
What's your go-to breakfast?
Ham, egg, and cheese croissant.
Pineapple pizza?
Pizza.
Pineapple on pizza?
Oh, nah, pepperoni.
Do you think that AI is a threat?
Yes and no. To students, I feel like it's a very great tool for you to learn from, as long as you're not just typing in the prompt and having chat just give you the answer without understanding what it does. I think, AI is a great way to learn and be able to break things down in your code and your homework and your notes to really learn from them. In the industry, it can get kind of dangerous because AI is going to be, I think, maybe replacing these level 1 engineers up to a level 2 software engineers, data engineers, even possibly that too. So being comfortable with it and growing into AI, not even learning from it, but learning about it, how to implement it yourself would be a great way to utilize it for yourself.
Would you consider starting a YouTube channel?
I'm trying to, man. I'm trying to start a YouTube channel. I want to be a streamer, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if I could really be a streamer, I want to stream all sorts of things. I want to make videos about code with me, build this machine learning model with me, let's go hiking with me, about my trucks. I want to be a social media person, but that takes a lot of time.
Favorite artist?
Vincent Van Gogh.
Favorite music artist?
Michael Jackson.
Not a question, you're amazing.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
How can I save money?
Don't eat out, man. Learn how to cook at home. That's my biggest struggle right now. I spend so much on fast food. And as well as that, if you have a truck that takes a lot of gas and you live near a park and ride. I didn't use my park and ride until my last semester at UHD. I could have saved so much gas by going to the park and ride. It's $2 for students I live near Kingwood. So in Kingwood, all the way downtown and back is like $4 versus the amount of gas and time. Time's going to be whatever, but you can, on the bus, you can code, you can do your homework, you can sleep and just get dumped off in downtown. It's great.
Time management advice, please.
Make a schedule of when everything is due. Like personally, I make a table with 16 rows. Each one represents 1 week of the semester, and the column represents every course. And you go in before the semester starts and just fill in those cells. Like, hey, week 3, quiz 1 is due, same class. Week 4, quiz 2 is due. Week 5, exam 1. That way you can just take a big snapshot of everything you need to do at once in a given week and work on those chronologically. If you really want an example, I can maybe send an example to June Day. Maybe he'll pop it up on screen. We'll see.
I'm giving myself time to pop it up on screen.
All right.
Should I learn React?
I don't even know React, to be honest with you. Learn LLMs.
What do you do at your company?
Oh, mainly when I was working as a data scientist for Kellogg's, interning them. I interned for them for like a whole year, so I did a whole lot of things. But it wasn't just straight data science. Like I built a couple models here and there, but it was a lot of meetings. It was a lot of other work that you don't really would contribute to being as a part of that role. I think that goes for everything. Like even for a software engineer, like you're not going to just be coding all day. You're going to be in meetings. You're going to be doing making dashboards, different types of things. So for me, I built this grandiose dashboard that taught our partners worldwide how to code in R. And so that was something I didn't know I was going to get into while I was there, but being able to make deliverables that are not only beneficial for you, but for others is what's going to really make you stand out at a company, because you're not only building yourself up with what you're producing, but you're also building each other up. Your colleague, someone you haven't even met before might be using your product and making their life a whole lot easier.
Best workplace pickup line.
Yeah, you want to go to HR, you can use that, but no.
Most embarrassing workplace moment.
Oh, not for me, but while I was interning for Kellogg's, there was one other intern with me, and so we were put on a project together, and so we were having a meeting to display our progress, or I think it was like honestly at the final end and at the final presentation. And so I log on, and turn my camera on, whatever. He logs on, turn his camera on, and his background is all just Minecraft themed. And so he just quickly shuts off the camera, switches his background to a normal background, and joins back in. But yeah, that was pretty funny.
Most memorable workplace moment.
I think my mid-year and my end-year reviews with my manager really memorable to me. Especially my end-year one, she was telling me all the great work that I had done, calling it great, calling what I did fantastic. Really makes an impact, especially that being my first internship, my first professional experience. I wasn't too sure how good I was doing, compared to other ones, but she really gave me some high praise throughout the whole year. And hearing that back, not only from her, but also my manager's manager, it meant a lot to me, and I really appreciated that.
You like your boss?
Oh, yeah, she was awesome. And her boss was awesome, too. The whole team over there at Kellogg's, well, my team, was pretty cool.
How do you gain experience for job interviews? And also, how do you prepare for those job interviews?
Get experience for job interviews, projects, your own projects. You have to have projects. Put them on your GitHub and then put them on your resume. How do I prepare for interviews? Well, the STAR method is always there. Go down to the Career Center, talk to Wendy Cooper, get hooked up on the best methodologies of doing it, but also knowing how to explain your projects. Like, if possible, while you're doing your projects on the side, have a notebook like, I implemented this first, I created this node to point here, and why you did that as well from start to finish, so that at the end of it, you have a big list of what exactly you did, not just the final product. And then from there, you can just put that in chat. Hey, summarize this for me. That way, when the interview is like, tell me about a project, you can tell them exactly from beginning to end what you did in a project and why you did it and how it came out.
As a current college student, we often hear that the job market is super hard to break into once graduated. How were you able to make connections and land your first job post-grad?
Well, I think you got to have a niche. There's going to be tens of thousands of computer science graduates each semester coming up. So find your niche. For me, it was data science. There's lots of graduates in there too, but find your niche, grow into that. Maybe you're a computer scientist, but you really like software engineering and you like, the back end of it. You'd like, some specific part of it. Really specialize in that, differentiate yourself from any other person that might be applying for that same job, and move on from there. As well as, it's not just about building your skills up in the classroom or technically, it's about marketing yourself. You have to be a business student, mentally, on LinkedIn, take that nice profile picture, make those, bi-weekly posts. Reach out to recruiters in there. My workflow when I apply for a job is I apply for it, update my Excel sheet, I fill out each little cell that I have relating to it, and at the end I have a little thing that says reach out to a recruiter. You can flip yes or no, and so I always try to reach out to a recruiter after you apply for a job, to let them know that, hey, I'm really interested in this. And the way you do that is, ExxonMobil, you just type in ExxonMobil recruiter and, 2 or 3 should pop up.
Reverse the linked list.
Dude, I'm not doing that.
What originally got you interested in data science?
When I first joined UHD or first came to UHD, I knew I wanted to do computer science just because it was trending at the time, but I knew I wanted to get a minor, and data science sounded pretty cool. Took it with Dr. Shoemaker, ended up loving it. Part, I would say, thanks to her. I really enjoy making or building a bridge between the business and the technical and finding the truth through the numbers. That's how I became really interested in data.
What's your favorite machine learning model?
What's your favorite machine learning model?
What is your favorite machine learning model?
I would probably say that random forest because it's pretty easy to implement, highly customizable, and it's very robust. It works best with factors. So if you have some data that is easily classifiable, like say number of children, you can just put that to the factor and make the model even better. But yeah, random forest. You don't need normally distributed data, and it's pretty strong.
Dream car.
Toyota Land Cruiser.
Too hot or too cold?
For a shower, too hot. For food, too hot. Everything too hot.
So how do you get better at data science?
I would say projects, like everything else, practicing. But practicing different aspects. For me, I practice a whole bunch of different models, from XGBoost model to the simple linear regression, random forest, to logistic regression, not practicing just once and saying you did it, but over and over again to where you can truly understand. And beyond that, actually get the conceptual part of it, what the model's actually doing, what a random tree actually stands for. I think that's how you improve.
How many applications did you submit before you got your first job interview?
Ooh, probably 20, 25. Ratio seems really nice, like 1 to 25. But it was the conferences that really helped out a lot, because I met Kellogg's at a conference, and from there kept in contact with them. A year later, same guys were there, met them again, interviewed with them. They told me, we'll let you know. They didn't want me, but a recruiter reached out. She said she liked my resume and that she wanted to interview or have me interview for a different position that was honestly better. It was a year-long internship versus just 3 months. And so through her, I was able to meet my manager, set up a interview, did good on the interview, and get the job. So conferences, if you can afford to go, highly recommend. If you can't, save up. But those are probably the best times to meet the recruiter face to face and make a good impression. So be ready. I would recommend Shep, and I would recommend Nesby probably. I haven't been to Nesby, but I hear it's just like Shep but bigger.
After you retire, what are you doing?
I'm gonna retire in San Antonio, build a house on a hill with some land, some animals, 4-wheelers, have all my family live around me so they come visit me every Sunday. All right, thanks everyone for watching and listening to all of our different answers. Big shout out to ACM and Kasi for putting this all together. Hope to see everyone in person at different events throughout the year. Bam, done. Where my stuff at, bro? Where my stuff at? Thank y'all for y'all's time. What do I say?
How do you deal and conquer imposter syndrome?
I think imposter syndrome is one of the biggest things I dealt with. Just kidding. Serving it, and they ask you about some sort of specific topic and restart it, bruh. Damn. It's just all about practicing consistently to get that right effect. One more time, bruh. I cut that one up.